Like, what do people think are inside those vaccines?
Well, most people don't know, but I could name a few: graphene oxide and mRNA, but most people don't know what's in the vaccine. And actually, a lot of the Latino community is just willy-nilly getting the shot because they want to comply, because again, that's what we do. We like to be left alone, and so unfortunately a lot of them are just complying just to comply, or they comply to go to the restaurants or the clubs, but they are not informed. And so that is another thing that I'm trying to do, is to inform the Latino community.
They don't even get to touch them, they don't get to hug them, they don't get to love them, and it's fucking sickening. Shame on them, right? And it's because of Governor Polis and all these other people think that we're protecting them. We all have natural immunities now. All these people, we all got COVID. Some of them, it's sad we lost them because of the comorbidities that they had. But the ones that made it through, they still are being held captive like they're in a prison. And it's in every nursing home. If we have a positive case, we're shut down. They don't get to have a visit. They're put on isolation, and I'm fucking sick of it.
Have you heard about the Freedom of All Men's Act? Will indeed put you in chains. But it sounds good to those who have no brains. That's what you're doing up there. Oh, the Freedom for All Men's Act, man. Oh, that sounds great, man. That sounds great. Yeah, so there you go, man. So what I think? Where are you guys? What are you doing? What is your thing?
We're trying to stop Antifa.
Oh, Antifa. And how do you do that?
Yeah. Daddy's got money, Antifa.
Shortly after going full-time agency, our world was turned into chaos. When we were struck with the virus, none of us knew anything about COVID-19.
And America must know, and the Pentagon has every chapter of this book, but they are not releasing it to the American people. We have over 1,200 mosques in United States. They have studied this book. Okay?
I can't think of one good thing Biden has done.
Okay, yeah.
I want somebody to tell me one good thing he's done. Don't know one.
What's one bad thing he's done?
What's one bad thing he's done? Afghanistan, he messed up. He had a hand in killing 13 military people. He opened the borders. Over 1.7 million people have crossed the borders. Their drug cartel. That's just the beginning. Defunding the police, making masks mandates, vaccine mandates, firing nurses who've been working for 20 years, who have helped people, and now he's firing all of them.
Guess what? This is our careers, this is our livelihoods, this is how we pay our bills, this is how we take care of our families. And we're scared because this is all we've ever known. None of us have ever thought that we could ever do anything other than what we're doing right now with our careers as healthcare workers. This is where we were gonna, retire from, okay? So when they came out with the mandate and they said that either you get the jab or you lose your license and your job, I decided it was time for me to stand up. It was time for me to be that voice for the nurses and the healthcare workers that are scared. They're just scared. They're scared.
What did you do before you did this? And did that career path help you in any way?
So before this, I served in the military. I am a retired Army veteran, and I'm a mother of 5. And I think that the fire really started when they started messing with the kids in the schools and the mask mandates in the schools and threatening our children forced vaccination, things like that. It really was something that struck really close to home for me. So I've always been someone that served my community in one capacity or another, and so even though I can no longer serve in the military, this is how I serve my country.
Yeah, I was also hearing that on the news that the vaccine was also causing anorexia problems. You think that's true?
I'm not sure about the anorexia. I haven't heard about that, but I've heard a long list of others.
Of what things? Because I'm not too familiar.
Facial paralysis, heart inflammation, clotting, swollen testicles, believe it or not. And I've heard that from a personal friend. So just amongst a bunch of others, adverse. If you go to VAERS or at Vaccine on Telegram, adverse vaccine reactions, there's hundreds of thousands of adverse reactions listed because the government is not actually listing these adverse reactions or recording them.
Not just say something, because we've had a lot of people for a long time saying a whole lot of things but doing a whole lot of nothing, and we need to change that, and that starts with you guys, because we can't do it alone. You need to help us. Are you tired? Are you sick and tired of CRT? Are you sick and tired of having porn in your schools? Are you sick and tired of our border being under attack? Our First and Second Amendments under attack? Our Constitution being used, what, basically for toilet paper? I know I am. And what we need to do more. We've got to do more. If we don't pull together as a patriot republic, then we are in trouble.
We have 8,000 school at the Pakistanis to teach the kids because of the Unabomber. This is the book. They study this book and blow up themselves in the market, and they believe in it. And American must know the situation. And that is, if you have a question, I'm glad to give you the, what's going on,
No, thank you. I didn't really know much about this.
How do you think troops are being treated in the United States at the moment?
I have some friends that are still in. I think that it's just kind of being brought to light how, how it is to be a soldier. We never ever really had a choice of the vaccinations that we got. When you sign up for the military, you pretty much are signing away your body. And so I'm not saying that it's right that they're being forced to take the vaccinations, but it kind of goes along with what you've signed up for. Unfortunately, it's not right. And I am still struggling to see how we're going to help them avoid this specific vaccination, because it's not like others. This is experimental, and that's not right to experiment on soldiers.
You're 100% right.
So, then we're going to come on to the mandates, okay? Because I have natural immunities. I had COVID and I almost died. But guess what? Faithfully, I still go to work for my shifts, and I go and I care for the elderly because it's what I love to do.
Thank you, Kinley.
That's fine. Sorry, I get a little passionate, so. Anyways.
I just want to ask you, what does your flag mean?
What does it mean?
Yes.
Supports the police, the fire department, and the military.
Why do you think, because I've seen the one with the blue stripe for the police, why do you think it has like a really bad rep?
The media has turned it into a bad thing to be a police officer. They're all bad.
I need people to, if they wouldn't mind, run for office, go volunteer at the precincts, become precinct leaders, go to the caucuses, become delegates. Becoming a delegate actually gives you the power to select the person who's going to be on the ballot that everyone gets to choose. That's what we need. We need more involvement. I hope that one day that we become a country that we can actually be proud of, because there's a lot right now that we just hang our heads in shame. Our current administration needs to be replaced. We need to flip the table, and we need to get hard-charging, new, fresh blood in there. Warriors that are going to fight for us and do for us and take no compromise. We cannot compromise anymore. We've been compromising for what, decades and decades. And look where we are now. Please do something. Get off your butts. These mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, they're just there to control us. They're there to decrease the population. It's a farce.
Has your family received the vaccine yet, or they haven't received it at all?
No, neither myself or anyone in my immediate family has received the vaccine.
Okay. Have you had COVID yourself?
Yes, I've had COVID twice, and I have the antibodies.
How was like the process of you receiving COVID? Were you really sick? Was it light?
It was pretty light. I was non-symptomatic both times. I cared for my husband and my daughter, who both also had COVID.
Don't even speak out because they're going to be bullied and coerced and retaliated against. And when I first started the group, I met Stephanie Thorpe. She works for UC Health. I'm going to introduce her in a minute. And we were retaliated against. When we first started, we had some rallies a couple months back. We had a lot of people coming out, and it's time to come together. I'm so excited to see all these people here together. And it's not just about nurses, healthcare workers. It's about everyone. They're not coming. It's all about federal funding, okay? They came for the nursing homes first. Where does that money come from? Federal funding. Then they come for our healthcare workers. Where does the money come to? Federal funding. Now where are they going? They're going to our children. Okay.
And I guess our final question is, what's on your mind? Is there anything that you want anyone to know about you, or like anything at all?
Just know that I'm a patriot, and I love my country, and I love all of my people here. I really feel that we need to stand up and fight for people that can't or won't speak up for themselves. And it's a shame that people are being backed into a corner and losing their jobs and their livelihood. It's not fair. It's not right. And I'm going to use all that I have to fight against this and to stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves.
Do anything other than what we're doing right now with our careers as healthcare workers. This is where we were gonna, retire from.
The Rowshan, Rowshan. And thank you very much for interview.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So Afghanistan has brought more drugs into the U.S. since the crisis.
No, the border has. I'm talking about over in Afghanistan, withdrawing from Afghanistan. Yes, it was a good thing, but he didn't give anybody any warning. He left Americans there to die. No warning. Doesn't make it. My 15-year-old asked why. There's no reason for it.
How did your 15-year-old feel about the whole situation?
I think he's frustrated with wearing a mask to school. You can't understand teachers. You can't have a conversation with your friends. It's frustrating.
Our election integrity. Look what's going on with that. There is no integrity in it. They say we have the gold standard. Do we have the gold standard? No. Do we have exactly? We have the fool's gold standard, and we need to change that. We need to get rid of the Dominion servers. We need to go back to where we have ID and paper voting. The mail-in voting is not working anymore. We've got to change things. But again, it begins with you, because we can't do it alone. It takes one team, one fight, and we need you to stand up and do something and get mad, get very mad, and fight. Fight for your country, because if you don't do it now, we are at the cusp. We are going to lose everything.
Yeah. Does it scare you that the vaccine was developed within like an 8-month span?
Absolutely, 100%. Because since 2008 through currently, Robert Malone and the mRNA, Johnson & Moderna had been filing to get their the FDA approval, and it has been denied each and every time. Now, because under the guise of emergency use, they have allowed it for use on humans. Mind you, it's killed all the lab rats.
Yeah. What, like lab rats as in humans or just rats?
Well, no, lab rats.
So
not humans, but we are. I feel like we are being used as lab rats.
And then this is more of a bonus question. How do you feel about Tom Brady being a Republican?
I love it. Go Brady.
You're a big Brady fan yourself, or?
I'll just say I'm a Brady fan. I don't know if I'm a big fanatic, but I am definitely a Brady fan.
What does being a patriot mean?
A patriot to me is standing up for the greater good of everyone in our country. It's fighting for our freedoms. It's making sure that all people are being defended.
Well, stay dangerous. We'll see you later. High five.
I appreciate it.
They're going to the schools. More federal funding, okay? Private sectors, it's going everywhere and it's spreading, and it all comes down to the federal funding, and our hands are tied, but guess what? They're not tied anymore, because people are waking up and they're realizing that we can stand up and we can fight. And so I just want to let you know that it's time. It's time that everybody starts to stand up and try to do what they can do.
Has he had any problems with like the mask, like health problems or anything like that with the mask?
No, he's a young, healthy, thin, skinny young man.
Yeah.
He's healthy. As long as you're healthy, not overweight,
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
So it's more of a the mask is more of a problem if you're like overweight, and since like it's harder to breathe.
Yeah, masks just don't work in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I'm a registered nurse.
Oh, you are? What hospital do you work at? Because I work at a hospital too.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't work at a hospital.
So
I quit to stay home and raise my children.
Okay. Yeah.
I did the COVID vaccine at the ball arena, and I do give flu vaccines to people. But,
okay.
Yeah.
But if you want to catch Tron, you can catch him Mondays on 8:10 a.m. From 6 to 11 a.m. from Denver. And he's a hard-working patriot, and he deserves your support, just like the rest of us patriots do. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and God bless. Thank you.
I also heard that Peyton Manning himself is pretty Republican. How do you feel about that?
Love it. That's my boy.
Have you been a Peyton Manning fan forever?
I don't know about forever, but definitely when he started playing for the Broncos.
You're a big Broncos fan?
For sure.
For sure. Did you see that they lost today?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
It's unfortunate. But I'm not super, so I love the Broncos, but I'm not super like pro NFL for, political reasons and their stance on all of this.
All right, well, I appreciate you, sir. We'll see you later.
Go,
Stay safe, man.
Put it out there. Oh, it's a proud bird singing in a tree high above the insanity. That's me.
That's beautiful. That's words from a prophet.
I don't know, man. You know, it's called slam poetry, man.
Thank you, sir.
Peace and love, gentlemen. Peace and love.